it's Lel, and we're here today to talk about the 5th episode of Delicious Party PreCure, which was very good. Oh my god, I think this was actually my favorite episode so far. This was incredible. And following the story week by week, episode by episode, they are doing a stellar job with their characters. Episode 5 focused on Kokone once more, and I particularly was very surprised with this. I was not expecting this episode to be heavily focused on her, because I feel like we didn't really have an episode that was heavily focused on Yui after the first episode. Yes, Yui is the center, Yui is the lead of the show, but I feel like we didn't really have more episodes that were focused solely on her, like this one was for Kokone. So I am so happy this happened. I mean, Yui is the center of the show, so she's always getting something. And we know that it doesn't happen like this to the other characters of the cast. So I was very happy with this, and I was also very happy with the way they dealt with the fact that Kokone cannot deal with social interactions very well. She doesn't know how to deal with them. She was always a person that was by herself. She was always alone, and she didn't really care about communicating with other people, and now she does, and she does not know how to do that, and she is having a hard time. So she's reading a book, she's trying everything she can, and I said that the only downside I had for episode 4 was that I felt we didn't really have many interactions between Kokone and Pum Pum. They were solved in this episode, and I was so happy to see Pum Pum living with Kokone, living in Kokone's house, and Kokone playing with her and combing her hair. Girl, her fur. That first scene was amazing. I loved that. It was so cute. And we had so many other moments between them, so very, very happy with that. So let's talk about the episode. First, we have the setting of the episode, which is Rosemary talking to Yui and saying that Kokone's been avoiding him. She always looks away when Rosemary tries to talk to her, and this is like something that Yui's gonna try to create this bond between them, and that's what she does on the next day at school. But then lots of funny scenes start happening because Kokone cannot deal with social interactions. She simply blocks herself. She can't act naturally, and I find that so funny because I remember being a very shy person when I was younger. I'm still very shy in certain situations, but overall, I think when I was younger, I was way shyer than I am nowadays. And I loved the way they portrayed that with Kokone. It was so well done. Loved that so much. And I also loved those moments when Yui called Kokone by Kokone-chan, and Kokone was like love-struck by that. Also when Rosemary called her Kokone, she was love-struck by that as well. She loved being called that. So those things are like little details that I really think add to Kokone's character. And every time Yui tried to connect with her and talk to her, she didn't know how to deal. She didn't know how to call Yui. She didn't know what to talk about and how to say things to her. And that left the communication, like at least in the first moment, Yui was talking to her. She was talking and talking and talking. And she didn't say anything because she couldn't. She just said, yes, let's go to Pretty Holic. That's it. Like she couldn't connect and she couldn't talk, and love that so much. And so when they get to Pretty Holic, it's very interesting because then she starts opening up more, and we see a scene when we see Kokone remembering something that happened, and like two friends talking, and she's there by herself, and she sees that she doesn't have that. And now she's able to have that, so she's gonna have her first try. And so she starts talking about makeup, and she just spurts things nonstop. And when she finishes, she's like, oh my god, I'm hogging all the conversation up. And she starts apologizing about everything. And so, like, she is trying her best, but she doesn't know how to do that. And that will create lots of awkward moments, socially awkward moments. And those socially awkward moments will result in other moments that she won't be able to deal as well. And, that is hard. Human interaction is very hard. And we had lots of other interesting moments, like Rosemary meeting Pum Pum again. That was very cute. I loved that. Rosemary praising her bag. It was very nice. Like Rosemary and Coconut, they have a lot in common, but they still haven't found that common ground. So that common ground will still be found later on. And after that, we see the scene of the three of them together eating gummies. We'll talk more about that later. But what was funnier, the funniest thing about that scene to me was the fact that Yui was super hungry. Rosemary gave her one gummy, and then she kept on being hungry, and he was like, "You just ate." Girl, gummies are not something you eat when you are actually hungry, okay? Rosemary, are you on a diet or something? Girl, no, it's just not how it works. So they're gonna go cook a veggie soup in Kokone's house, in Yui's house. So when they get to Yui's house, we see Yui's mom, and she starts helping Kokone. She never cooked before. So we see a little bit more of Kokone's life and how she lives her life. She never needs to cook. There is always someone cooking for her. And it was very funny because when that scene started, Yui started cooking. Like, she started preparing the vegetables, and Yui's mom started explaining things. And so I thought, oh my God, is this going to be a preachy scene on how to do things, how to cook? But it was not actually. It was just a moment. It was just like an introduction so that they were able to talk about this aspect of Kokone's life. And that was something interesting as well. And Kokone was not able to cook properly. She was just having like a hard time, but she was trying her best nonetheless. It was not easy for her, but she was trying. She was doing her best. But then she went on to call Rosemary to ask about the ginger, and she listened, and Rosemary was talking to the energy fairies about Kokone's feels towards Rosemary. And then like there was this tension, total tension between them. And like Rosemary was accepting the fact that Kokone didn't like them because of the way Kokone dealt with that. And that is an interesting thing too. Look, I feel like socially, we need to understand people that have a hard time communicating, the people that are shy. We need to understand that this comes at a hard price for them. But also, we need to understand that sometimes the shy people's reactions will cause other people to think they are not liked, and those shy people don't like them and don't like interacting with them. And so like we have two opposites in this social sense, and we can see how far bad communication can go. And I loved how the episode dealt with that, but we'll get there. So we see Gentlew is attacking. I'm going to talk about Gentlew later. And then we have the fighting scene. So when the fighting scene starts, Spicy starts attacking all by herself, and she's not thinking of anything. She's just trying to do it. And obviously things are not working. So when they get to talk and to resolve what was going on, she starts talking about what she is feeling. Finally, girl, I was waiting for that moment. And then she starts, sharing that she finally had friends and she is not being able to communicate with them, and that is being painful to her. So that must mean that she is not able to make friends, so she has to be by herself, and that's why she was trying to do everything in the fight by herself. I love that. I love that about it because, she was doing her best in communicating, but she couldn't. Even when she was trying her best, she was still failing at it. But there was one thing that was missing, which was being honest about not being able to communicate, which she was during the fighting scene. And that was so nice to see. And I loved that when she was able to open up and they started talking about they're friends now, and it's totally okay if you try to do something and you fail, and it's not exactly how you wanted it to be. It's like you try, and the result is not what you expected, but you still tried nonetheless. And I like that message. Like failure is the mother of success. Like that was the whole thing about it. Yui was getting it wrong, Gentlu corrected her, but what mattered here was Spicy kicking some ass in the fighting scene. That was so cool. She was able to use her minor attack in a different way. Girl, that was so nice. The movement and the way she moved and the way she prepared the attack for Precious to punch. Girl, the poses and everything, loved that. I also loved when like she was opening up and Pum Pum was like really by her side and connecting with her. Oh my god, she was supporting Kokone so much, and I love that. And it's unfortunate because Pum Pum can't really help her in this. Pum Pum is very good socially, but she can't be in social situations with Kokone because she has to pretend to be just a pet, to be just a stuffed animal, as Rosemary said. So she was able to finish the fighting scene with her own attack. Spicy, I love that for you, girl. You are defensive, but you can do it. I love, please, this is the way. This is how you do a defensive cure. You know, this is how you do it. She can do it. She can defend. She can attack. She can do anything. Love you, Cure Spicy. And so at the end of the episode, so like we see that Rosemary is now understanding Kokone. And Kokone is finally able to open herself up to Rosemary as well. And she gives Rosemary a lipstick from Pretty Holic that matches Rosemary. She praises Rosemary's accessories and how Rosemary is able to have this fashion sense. And they start connecting. I loved when Rosemary told like, I really wanted to get to know you more. I really wanted to understand you more. Girl, that was so cute. I loved that. Oh my god, very, very precious. And those moments are like really making Delicious Party for me. Like having this moment to work with Kokone's character was so good and so well done. And at the end of the episode, Rosemary giving Kokone the cup, and now she's able to cheer as well, and they ate together at the end. It was very cute. What a cute moment. And it was also very nice when Kokone like really saw how much she was able to influence the food, because she peeled the carrots that Yui cut as stars later. So she was like feeling how her work was done. Even if she wasn't doing the best work she could because she doesn't know how to cook, it was her first experience, she still saw how she was able to influence that. Oh my god, what a cute moment. And we saw Human Komekome at the end too. But girl, the last scene with Pum Pum and her touching Pum Pum there, oh my god, it was so adorable. I loved that. Anyways, now let's talk about other things. Ran had a 50-50 experience in this episode. She was able to feel the delicious food, taste the delicious food, and then, girl, I'm sorry, your experience was ruined once again. I'm sorry, girl. You are the character that suffered the most in all PreCure. I'm so sorry about that. And we had a new character appearing too at the start of the episode, which seems to be a student council president. She was, welcoming the students in the school, and we could see her talking about that as well, and how like you have to try hard to be your best self, and you always have to strive for your future and everything. Like something that was very focused on being correct, being right. And then we have another thing that when Rosemary gave the girls the gummies, Rosemary talked about a fruit parlor called Kasai. I think that's going to be important if you've been following the things that have been like on the backstage. You know that's going to be important. And we also had Gentlu, who had an interesting interaction because she corrected Yui. She corrected Cure Precious. And she was the one to correct Cure Precious. Girl, what's going on there? Like, Gentlu has a very correct personality as well. So that is another interesting thing. And another thing that I'm enjoying is the fact that Gentlu is doing like new Ubaozos powered up by more CPPs, so they're a little stronger. So we could see like Spicy was very strong in this episode, being able to, do that all by herself. Not really by herself, but to prepare the land for Precious and to finish with her finisher. Love that so much. And so episode 5 was an amazing episode. It was very, very good. And there is this sense like, when is Secret-Tudu going to attack? I believe that Gentlu is going to keep on attacking until the team is complete, because there is something interesting here to look. She is always interacting with the cures themselves. And I feel like she's only going to stop attacking after she finishes interacting with everybody. Because I feel like they're trying to make a connection of Gentlu with Precious, with Spicy, and then with Yum Yum. So then Secret-Tudu can come and attack. For now, I think Gentlu is going to keep on attacking. And next episode, there's something weird at school. It's probably Men Men. We're probably going to be introduced to Men Men in episode 6, paving the way to Yum Yum in episode 7. I'm excited. But episode 5, a brilliant episode. I loved it. What did you think about it? Did you love it as much as I did? Because girl, this episode was everything. Anyways, guys, just want to give a little shout out and a special thank you to the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you are a member, thank you very much for your support. Thank you for standing by Magical Cinnamon. And if you've watched up until now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.